Alrighty, everybody. Gamble Plays here. We're going to be doing an updated tier list. It's been a little bit since I did my last one, and I want you guys to know my opinions on the champions from 56 to about 113. So I'm going to be doing all the way till Shyvana. Without further ado, let's get into it. Kha'Zix, I think, is one of the better assassins for the sheer amount of disruption you have with the slow and the invisibility and stuff. I would definitely recommend going R than W or W than R, but I don't think Q is ever really the play. I would probably put him in decent. He's pretty good. I think Kindred, she has stacks. She gets range. She's probably one of the worst stacking champs, so I would probably put her behind Bel'Veth. Kled, I feel like I got insanely lucky in that video. I got about 80 AD from a random 100 to 200% roll. So and the fact that he comes in when you get revived, you get mini, means that I would probably put him at the bottom of don't recommend. I don't think he's very good. Kog'Maw works with AD and AP. He scales really well with both, even Magic Pen, lethality, literally everything is good. I'd probably put him higher end of A. I think Cassante is probably one of the better tanks. However, I think he's pretty clunky to play, so I'll probably put him in decent, because keep in mind, this is a tier list based on my opinions of these champs, not necessarily like objective, right? I'm trying to be objective, but if I don't like the champ, like for example, actually, where did I put Graves? Maybe I didn't even put him. Yeah, Graves is here. Jhin is here. I think Jhin could be better if I liked reloads more. LeBlanc, I think she's pretty insane. In terms of stat charting, she's probably behind Gragas and stuff. Lee Sin, I would put him in S if he was able to ward hop, but he has pretty insane stats anyways, probably better than Jarvan. Leona, we all know Leona's insane. We're putting her up there. Lilia, similar to Brand, a little bit worse. But I recently had a game with Detonation Orb where I had 45k damage, true damage out of 85k. And, I mean, obviously, Detonation Orb and my passive, my Q sweet spot is a ton of AP damage. So, that's that. Lissandra, insane CC. You can stack ability haste and be pretty hard to kill. I would probably put her above Leona and behind Alistar. Lucian. Okay, with Lucian, I like him with items, right? I don't think he's as good without items. Like, not nearly as good. So, I liked when I played Lucian, I think in 1.0 where he had that ult build. I don't know if that's still a thing. I'll probably put him at top of B because I'm not sure. And I think he is pretty reliant on Prismatic. Lulu, we all know Lulu's OP. No one likes playing against it. Come on. Lux, she's probably decent. I think she does need a decent amount of AP to be very strong, but I think she does have good low cooldowns. So if you hit Cruelty or something, Everfrost, whatever, you can get pretty long CC on him. Malphite, I think Malphite's pretty buns. I'm going to be honest. I think he's not unplayable because his ult's still good. Honestly, I'll put Kled in unplayable. I think Kled's horrible. Malphite's just bad. Malzahar's actually really surprisingly good. He has mana problems, so maybe I'll put him a middle of A. But with those, like, you just have so much damage. It doesn't even matter if you're just spamming abilities because you have a ton of ability haste. It's pretty strong. Maokai, I think, is one of the not as great tanks. He'll probably be in the absolute bottom of decent. I think it'd be kind of disingenuous to put him any lower. Master Yi, not very good. He needs items, obviously. Top of don't recommend is the highest I can put him. Milio really surprised me once again. I think he's middle of the pack of A. MF, not very good. Doesn't scale particularly with anything. Maybe lethality would be a good thing, but since I didn't go that, I don't know. I'll put her middle of don't recommend. Mordekaiser. I think Mordekaiser's pretty strong. Probably top of B. Strong. Morgana. I think she's a little better than Lux in the aspect of having Black Shield, because at least you have some utility even if you don't hit. So I'll put her higher end of decent. Nefiri, if you guys have seen any of my world record series so far and or the Nefiri video on my stat chart episode, I love Nefiri. Nefiri is forever in my heart in terms of arena, so that's where he goes. Nami. I'm going to put Nami in A, but at the top. I think Nami's pretty insane. Nasus. I don't think Nasus is very good. He just gets kited so easily. Especially with the fact that you can't buy boots, it's kind of rough. So that's where I would put him. Nautilus. I think Nautilus is OP. Honestly, there's definitely a case for putting him above Alistar, but I think he's probably a little worse because you can't play Storm as well. With Alistar, you can literally just run away and then play Fire and just keep him in the Storm. It's really cringe, and I don't recommend doing that because it's cringe, but if you want to win, that's what you can do. Nico. I definitely don't recommend Nico. I feel like she's okay. I mean, I'll put her in decent. She's fine, but I don't think she's like crazy strong, and there's a lot of augments that'll literally make it so it's completely obvious which one's you and which one's the clone. And that's like the most fun part of playing Nico. Nidalee. I think Nidalee is actually pretty strong. Especially if you have some sort of CC to guaranteed hit your Q. But yeah. Neela I think is pretty weak. Nocturne. The fact that I could do that on hit stuff is pretty cool. Obviously it's not my on hits. It was my teammates, but it was still pretty fun to play. So I'll put him in decent. Nunu. I think we all know where Nunu's going. Nunu's freaking OP. Probably middle of OP. Olaf. Don't recommend. Similar to Nasus, you can get kited. Maybe I'll put it at the bottom of decent. The reason behind it is if you go movement speed stacking, you might be able to get permanent R. And then if you have permanent R, then it's pretty nice. But even then, if you chase somebody to the portal and they take the portal, then you lose your R. If you don't have R on Olaf, you're just useless. So, yeah, never mind. I'm putting him in don't recommend. Because same as Nasus. Nasus, you can wither them, but then they can take the portal or hit a plant, like a blast cone, and you get moved. So, yeah. Orianna. Honestly, I'd put her unplayable. You do 0 damage. Obviously, if you watch that video, I didn't get any AP, but I don't think her scalings are high enough anyways for it to be, like, a playable mage. I think there's way better champions. Ornn, we all know. Stat charting, Ornn's top tier. Pantheon. I think Pantheon's not very good. I'll put him in decent, probably middle of decent. I could see him being better than most of those champs, but not very good. Poppy. I think Poppy's strong. Poppy, in my opinion, better than Braum, but especially because you can play the ring, so there's definitely an argument to put her even farther up, but this is where I'm comfortable with. Pyke. We all know Pyke's insane. I think Pyke is worse than Nefiri and Ornn, but it's still Pyke, bro. So, yeah. All you really need is lethality. Let's see. Kiana. I'm going to be honest, y'all. Kiana's not fun with no items. Quinn actually surprised me. Probably, to be honest, at the top of A. Definitely worse than Nami. But, I mean, I felt strong in both games I played, and one of the games I didn't even have that much AP. I mean, AP. I didn't have that much AD. So, yeah. Rakan, also pretty crazy strong. A lot of utility, a lot of healing. They're just really good. Rammus. I think Rammus is pretty crazy strong. Probably above Lee Sin, under Malzahar. Rek'Sai. I think I have to put her pretty high because of how strong she is with almost any stat in the game. So honestly, I'll just put her at the bottom of A. Because I do think that you do need to know at least a little bit of how the tremors work. Or maybe it's not called tremors, but whatever, the burrowed sensor. Rel, she's OP. Like, she's OP as in she's good, not in OP tier. That's reserved for only the best of the best. All right, let's see. Renata. I would say Renata's definitely good. She's definitely strong. Definitely behind all those. Maybe there. I would put her but behind Rammus in front of Lee Sin. Next is Renekton. Renekton, I would say, is decent. He's not horrible. He's not great. You obviously rely a lot on Fury, and items are really good on Renekton. So if I was able to have items, obviously this tier list would be very different. Rengar, I honestly think is really strong. You just have to play around bushes, and you have to be good at Fury management. I would say if you're good at ferocity management or whatever it's called, then he would be OP. But because most people probably aren't, then I would put him in A. I would say Riven. Riven is most likely in the decent tier. She wasn't amazing, but I don't think she was bad enough for me to put in don't recommend. Because if you get something like Outlaw's Grit or something early game, you can kind of get to your shard holder, and once you get to your shard holder, you're pretty strong. Rumble, not ideal. I'll probably put him in don't recommend. You have to know how to manage your heat well, and it's just, I mean, dude, who wants to play Rumble without items? I mean, he does scale well with Magic Pen, but not well enough. Rise, obviously you want AP. I mean, you want mana, right? But you can get away with just Everfrost or something like that for mana. So he's good enough. That'll put him in decent. Samira, not amazing, not horrible. Put her in decent, probably middle of the pack. Sejuani, I think Sejuani, as long as you're playing with an a melee champion, I think Sejuani is definitely up there. Maybe middle of A. Senna, I played the AD, like the before the changes Senna, but with what I've been seeing of the new Senna, I'm putting her in A for sure. Let's see. Seraphine. I was pretty much same as my Orianna video. My Seraphine was, I just got like tank stats all game, but I was still somewhat strong, so I'll probably put her at the top of decent. Set, very strong. You can scale with anything that is an AP or Magic Pen, and so you don't get that much health. Like, even if you took every health, you don't. It's not like you're gonna have more than if you had Heartsteel and stuff. But you could get Demon's King, Dragonheart, Twin Mask with another tank, Goliath, Celestial Body. There's a bunch of good stuff. Shaco, you just stack haste and just be annoying. I think honestly he's probably top of strong. I'd put him behind all the CC bots, but he's still good. Shen, only good if you get Reverberation. Maybe you can go like this, an AP Magic Pen thing, so I'll put him in decent. But he's absolutely at the bottom of decent, almost in don't recommend. Just letting you guys know. And Shyvana, she's very strong. So just the fact that you get one of those quote-unquote Dragon Souls, aka 580 or AP every round for the entire game is strong. So that's my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video, comment, let me know what you guys are thinking of this tier list. And then this is a sneak peek of what's left. This is what you'll see in the last one towards the end of the series, if not at the end. So yeah, like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. And don't forget, don't skip the ads. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks. See ya.